excuse me?
Because my boyfriend...
Fiancé.
All right, fiancé. Spends his time dragging me around dusty archaeology sites, then obviously I'm going to spend a lot of time washing my hair.
We do other things as well.
Right, and that messes up my hair too.
Yeah, it's good to hear laughter in the back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, not at all. I mean it. But don't let the customers hear you, because they want to think of us as taking their money problems very seriously.
Well, I promise I take her problems very seriously.
No, like that is it. If you do, you'll have problems of your own.
Not one of ours, is she?
Not yet, no. Mind you, when she catches sight of the assistant manager...
I'll find him doubled up in agony.
Yes, steady on, Keith. It cost us a fortune providing bulletproof screens to protect us from villains on the other side of the counter. Couldn't afford to provide them to protect the staff from each other.
Oh, Mr. Telford, Mr. Goring's coming in at 10.
Well, what, the Hill Garage?
Right, I've put his file on your desk.
Oh, thank you. But I've got a moment, haven't I? Because I just want to...
Mr. Telford,
Yes?
there's a lady who'd like to see you.
What, a customer?
No, she's just cashed a cheque with a cheque card. She's called Miss Sally Morton.
Oh, is that her?
Well, look, you've only got a minute before Goring, so I'd better see her.
You see Goring.
Yes, it's very kind of you, Keith, to try to keep my workload down, but I'll see what she wants. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Can I have a word with you, Keith, please? A present for you.
Oh?
Yes, the Goring file.
Oh.
Close the door, please.
Thank you.
Oh, Mrs. Morton?
Miss Morton.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Though I trade under the name of Samantha.
Oh, I see. Please sit down.
Thank you.
You trade, you say, in Dover?
No, up the coast. I'm just in Dover looking around
Oh, yes.
to see if I think there's a possibility of expansion.
Oh, well, if we can help. What is your trade?
Saunas.
Oh, yes, you import them.
No, I run them.
Oh, I see.
Actually, it's just the one so far. Used to be a boutique selling fashion, you know. I saw an opening and it's doing very well.
It's good.
So I thought I'd look around.
In Dover?
I'll put my cards on the table.
Yes, please do.
I used my own money to start the first and I want to use yours to start the second.
Well, we must have a long, serious talk about this.
First rule of making money is always to use somebody else's.
Yes, if they let you.
Of course. But I've got a good business proposition.
Which we will discuss, of course. Now, you're not a customer of the bank, are you, Miss Morton?
No. And I may as well tell you that my own bank manager won't lend me the money.
Would you mind telling me why not?
He doesn't approve of my business.
Has he any reason to disapprove?
Not that I can see. But you'd have to ask his wife about that, wouldn't you?
His wife?
Well, I wouldn't know what hang-ups he has, would I? Oh, come on now. You know what I mean. We have a massage service as part of the sauna.
Oh, I see.
What?
Well, I mean, I'm sure your business is quite legitimate, but I understand some massage parlors recover for, well, for,
Prostitution?
well, yes.
I tell my girls that if I ever catch them offering more than is printed on the tariff, they'll be sacked straight away.
And you never catch them?
No.
No. But in any case, to offer would be illegal, wouldn't it?
Right.
But what if the client asks?
People are free to ask what they like. It doesn't mean the girls have to say yes, does it?
Well, no, the question is, do they?
Why? Why is that the question?
Well, I mean, I can understand why your bank manager might feel a little reluctant, shall we say.
I can't if I come here with a perfectly legal business proposition. So you won't lend either.
Well, no, I didn't say that.
So you will lend?
Well, no, I didn't. I mean, obviously, we're interested in any good business proposition. That's our job.
I own the freehold on the first sauna if you want that as security.
Oh, well, that's a good start. Presumably you found somewhere you think is suitable.
Yes. An excellent place off the high street in a small road. Good for business, that.
Oh.
Yes. I mean, when the vicar wants to call, well, he feels a bit shy if it's bang on the main road. No reason to, but there you are. Look, I'll get the books together and bring them in.
No, I'll call on you if you like.
By all means. This is where we are. Come any time.
Well, I'll give you a ring.
I'll get the books ready this morning. Any time after that. Thank you for listening, Mr. Telford.
Not at all. Oh, Carol, did Mr. Goring come?
Yes, Keith's seeing him. Shall I tell him?
No, let's not spoil his fun. I'll just make some file notes on Miss Morton.
That'll make interesting reading.
As manager's clerk, Carol, you should keep up to date with my notes.
I don't know, Nick, but it's got to be speeded up.
It's all very well saying that, but how do we do it? I mean, there's a limit to how fast you can move a great big truck like that in a blackout.
But we've been saying for 2 weeks now that it would get better with rehearsal, and it hasn't. I mean, you cannot have a quiet, gentle, domestic scene followed by a scene change which last night sounded like the Second World War complete with atomic bomb. And then another quiet scene. It's impossible.
Well, tonight I could pad the Prossage.
A muffled atomic bomb isn't much better. God, and then there's a time it takes.
Well, that was much better last night. It couldn't have been more than 30 seconds.
55 seconds.
I'm sorry, I can't accept it.
Look, it's down there in black and white.
Well, it didn't seem like that to me.
Well, it did to the watch, and I can assure you that it did to the audience. I mean, you could feel their concentration ebbing on every side. It breaks the rhythm of the play at a crucial time.
Look, we'll discuss this later. Good morning, everybody.
Full company on stage, please.
All right, well, I'll try. Well, look, I'll get on to him today and see what he says, and I'll let you know. Right, bye. Damn. Trouble? Oh, not really. It's a centenary dinner at the Dover Centre of the Institute of Bankers on Friday, and speaker can't come.
No, that's bad.
Well, for him, too. He's had a heart attack.
Oh, dear.
So, the committee reckons that I can lay on our chief general manager at 3 days' notice.
Well, he may be lucky.
Well, anyway, what can I do for you?
Oh, this Goring. Bit of a problem, I'm afraid. You ought to see him, I think.
Oh,
Yes, he wants us to release his guarantor.
how much was it for?
10,000. His current account is 6,150 in the black. He paid in over 5,000 last week. But I've noted that there are 1 or 2 payments, regular payments, to creditors that he hasn't made.
Oh.
Now, he has a loan account which is still 4,500 in the red, and that's what he wants to pay off.
Well, perhaps I better see him then.
Well, you'll have to wait a few minutes. He said he wanted to buy some cigarettes. He said it'd only be a minute.
Do you think he'll come back?
Well, I couldn't chain him down, could I?
All right, we're going to go from the last line of the scene. I don't want anything else but the truck. No snow. Quiet, please! Right. Thank you, darling. I can wait. Blackout. Go truck. No, Charlie, get this corner round first. Just come on smoothly, straight across the hit the marks. It's pointless. It's not to hit the marks, Charlie. Oh, it's got to come on straight. It's no use. Let's try.
Oh, look, Nick, it's hopeless. I mean, it's never going to work.
Why not just elbow it? Alternatively, we could elbow the play. But moving that bloody great truck is the funniest thing I've seen in ages.
Oh, for God's sake, Tim!
I'm sorry. No. But he's right, isn't he? You can't have both. It's either the play or that less than mobile monstrosity.
Yes, well, Giles thought
Yes,
that...
I know. It seemed like a very good idea at the time. But you remember, Sylvia, when I saw it last week, I said it ought to go.
We've been working at it all week.
Well, the
and we
solution's
thought-
very simple. When in doubt, cut it out.
Yes, well, where do we play the scene? I mean, we'll have no set.
Shakespeare may do with little placard.
Yes, and no roof on his theatres, and bear baitings on Wednesdays. It's a different theatre, Tim.
No, it isn't. It's always the same theatre. Let's say, actor and audience, so let's get rid of anything that keeps them apart, shall we? Where's Giles?
Oh, he's at home.
Oh. Well, I would have thought with a real design problem, the designer ought to have been here.
Oh, we thought that we could crack it.
And have you?
No.
Right. Let's get the designer here, shall we? Hello. Nice to see you.
Do you want me to ring him?
No. Thank you.
I'll get on with
You're
rehearsing
right.
the scene.
Lovely to see you. You're exhausted.
I'd say that. Sorry about all this, Tim. I should have been much firmer earlier.
Yes. Have you got Giles's number?
It's just that, well, Nick and I thought that, that...
Now stop worrying. That's the reason for tryouts. We get it right before we move it.
Yes, but I mean, it's not long, is it? It's next Wednesday.
It'd be great. Hey, Giles, Tim here. Who? Hart. Giles, do you think you could get down here this afternoon? I don't want to spoil your pleasures, Giles, but we do need you here. What'd you guess? Including a juggernaut that threatens to cut down 3 actors, not to mention the play. It... Mm. So you will be able to get down here this afternoon? In that case, I shall be all the more grateful. About 3. That's fine. Bye.
Do you always get what you want?
No.
That's a relief.
And you always refuse to take what you want?
No.
That's a relief, too.
Why?
I'll tell you later. It's very windy.
I'm sorry I wasn't available when you first called, Mr. Goring, but I'm afraid something urgent cropped up.
Oh, you still want me, Mr. Telford?
Oh, yes, do stay. Now, Mr. Goring, I believe you want us to release the guarantor for your garage and filling station.
Yes, that's right. You know how it is.
Now, let me see. You're still 4,500 owing on your loan account.
Yes, but I pay that off, of course, from my current account.
Yes, but I see from your current account that you haven't paid your monthly petrol bill yet.
Haven't I? Surely.
No, well, last month you paid 2,600, and the same the month before.
Oh, well, they must have delayed presenting the cheque then.
Oh. So if you paid off your loan account and then they presented the petrol account, you'd be overdrawn.
Well, not seriously, surely.
Well, we try to be flexible, of course, but we do appreciate notice of your intention to overdraw, at least.
Well, I do have some creditors I could press. I'm sure I could easily raise the few hundred.
Is there any reason for releasing the guarantor?
Well, she's an old lady. It's my aunt, and she's always been uneasy about it. Takes it very seriously. Wouldn't touch a nest egg. You know, I just like to set her mind at rest.
Well, I'm afraid we couldn't see our way to releasing her yet.
Oh, come on, if the loan is paid and the account's paid, what is she guaranteeing? There's nothing at all.
No, not quite. You see, Mr. Goring, if, for example, you were to go bankrupt during the next 6 months, the official receiver might try to recover the 4,500 you owe from us. And it's against that risk.
Well, he won't do that, surely.
He won't. So it's not just a hypothetical situation.
Sorry, what do you mean?
Well, I said the receiver might, hypothetically, but you said he won't, as if it's certain. I could do with a cup of tea. How about you, Mr. Goring? See to it, Keith, will you? No, ask Julie.
Yeah, right, of course. Can't go on much longer.
Tell me about it.
It was 10 months ago. I lost my MOT licence. My mechanic passed a car with a bent steering rod, and somehow the MOT found out and took away my licence.
I see.
We used to do 15 or 20 a week. I mean, that's over £80 a week just for certificates. But we work on some of them as well. That was worth another 300, maybe 400.
Mm-hmm. And since then?
Well, I have tried other things. If I could raise the cash, I mean, I'd really like to get the respraying going again.
I take it you haven't paid your monthly petrol bill. And there are other bills?
The tyre company's pressing for 3,000. There are others, yeah. It's a real bloody mess. So I just thought...
You thought you could get your aunt off the hook, anyway. Well, as you see, it's not as simple as that. How much are you in debt?
Counting you about 16,000.
And you're not a limited company?
No.
Oh, dear. Well, we may as well enjoy this tea.
Oh, he's good. I'm not saying that. But God, he's intimidating sometimes.
It's his job sometimes.
Yes, I know, but well, it does seem to me that he occasionally comes on very strong. Do you remember Maddox Engineering?
Of course, Dover hits the city pages.
Well, I've been thinking about that.
Don't forget to sign that, will you?
All right, all right. I was wondering whether the whole thing would have happened at all if Telford hadn't gone after Maddox so hard to improve his business.
Surely you said at the time Maddox needed to diversify, to rationalise.
Yes, of course. Yes, that's true. But the takeover business was triggered off by Maddox buying his own shares. I don't know. If Telford had been more gentle, easy, he might have achieved that without panicking Maddox into the market.
Does he think that?
I don't know. He hasn't said anything. But I do know that we've lost the Maddox account. It's gone to Western Foundries Bank, naturally.
Mr. Everley, Sir Mr. Sampson is returning a call to the manager.
Oh, right, okay, Julie. Hello, Mr. Sampson. Everly here. Oh, yes, I do know what he called you about. We picked up something from our international division, an export opportunity, and we wondered whether you might be interested. It's to do with the oil pollution on the French coast. That's right. Well, look, why don't you drop in to see us? This afternoon? Well, if you have to come in anyway, I'll see you then, even if Mr. Telford has something on. Good. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Not good, I'm afraid.
No hope?
No, none.
Oh, dear.
You're quite right to spot those figures.
Oh, it's pretty obvious, really. All those debtors paying, no creditors being paid.
Yes, right. So he's going to see a solicitor, and I imagine he'll file straight away.
So the guarantor will have to pay?
I'm afraid so. Quite a bit of it, I'm afraid. Julie, get me Mr. Harvey, will you?
Mr. Harvey, is he a customer?
No, he's our chief general manager.
Oh, sorry. Mr. Telford?
Yes.
Mrs. Santon asked if she could make an appointment with you.
Oh, yes, of course. Thank you, Elizabeth. Julie, don't ring head office for the moment. Oh, good morning, Mrs. Santon. Have a few minutes now, if that's any good to you.
No, I've got to go back and get the lunch on. I just wanted to fix a time.
Is it urgent?
It is, rather.
Well, now, let me see. Actually, I've nowhere to go for lunch. Could I come and see you? If I made it at, say, 1:30, we could have a word afterwards.
That's very kind of you.
No, not at all. It's very selfish of me. It's an excuse to eat one of your lunches.
Thank you. It'll be vol au vent today.
Ah, do I detect a little French influence creeping into your cuisine?
Could be. But just into the kitchen, you understand.
Of course. So I see you at 1:30. Thank you, Elizabeth. Oh, she's a most attractive woman. And blooming since our Miss Adibe arrived.
Of course, it's our morning for attractive women.
Oh, yes, of course, yes, it was Miss Morton. Right, Julie, you can get head office now, please.
Oh, Mr. Sampson returned our call. He's going to drop in this afternoon.
Oh, dear. Well, you'll have to see him, I'm afraid, because I'm going to look at Miss Morton's establishment this afternoon.
Oh, very nice. She's in business, is she?
Oh, yes.
Well, that's one business I should like to patronise.
Mr. Harvey's secretary, sir.
Right, thank you, Julie. Well, perhaps you should, Keith. It's a massage parlour. Hello.
Mr. Telford?
Yes.
I have Mr. Harvey for you.
Right, thank you.
You're through.
That you, Mark?
Oh, good morning, sir.
Come to your senses yet, have you? Rung for your old job back?
No.
Good. A man shouldn't stay where he is, let alone go back. You'll be after a better one.
No. Actually, sir, I was ringing to offer you one.
Me? A job?
Yes, that's right. It's just a one-night stand, I'm afraid. The local centre of the Institute of Bankers is having its centenary dinner on Friday.
Oh, I can guess what's coming.
Well, yes, and we were going to have George Deacon as guest speaker.
Oh, dear. Yes, I heard about that this morning. Oh, occupational hazard of general managers.
Well, you should take it easier. Why not look for a little bank in Kent? There's quite a nice branch in Deal, I believe.
Very funny.
No, on second thought, sir, no. The competition might be a bit strong. So the Midland Bank there has a woman manager.
Well, if she's like my wife with our joint account, she's probably very good.
Yes, I believe she is. Anyway, sir, if you're planning on being chief general manager until Friday, the local committee would be most grateful if you'd step into the breach. And I'm sure George Deacon would be most grateful too, sir.
He'll laugh his bloody head off. With this centenary, we're all speaking somewhere every week.
Oh, then you'll have your speech already, then.
All right, then, Mark. I haven't looked at the southeast for some time. I'll have lunch at the regional office and then come on to you.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
I shall enjoy seeing you in your small pond. Goodbye.
Goodbye, then.
Excuse me, Mr. Telford. Could you spare me a moment?
Yes, of course, Elizabeth. Come on in. Sit down. Is there anything wrong?
Oh, no. Mr. Telford, could the bank lend me £58?
£58? That's an odd sum. Do you mind telling me why you need it?
To buy a dinghy.
A dinghy? I didn't know you were a sailor.
I've been crewing for my boyfriend all season and... well,
He never lets you take the helm.
not in races.
No. Are you a member of the local club?
That's right. There's a boat for sale for £150. I've saved £92.
Oh, yes, you've done very well.
But I shan't have enough till the season's over.
How long, Elizabeth, how long do you want the money for?
I thought a year. I've worked it out. I'd pay back £5.20 a month with interest, and I've been saving much more than that.
Oh, I should think that'll be all right. £58 won't damage the bank's liquidity. So, look, put in an application, and I'll recommend it to the regional office.
Thank you very much.
Are you sure that's enough?
Oh, yes.
You have a life jacket, do you?
Oh, my boyfriend has.
But he'll be needing that for his new crew.
Oh, yes.
Well, look, borrow £70 and make sure you get a proper life jacket.
Thank you very much.
Aren't you afraid your boyfriend will find a pretty new crew member?
Yes.
Seriously, though, Carol?
I am serious.
The thing is, I've got to go round to the dig tonight.
I'm not stopping you. I'm glad you're going. But yeah, I've got to stay at home tonight and wash my hair and sort out all sorts of things. I've got letters I haven't answered for weeks.
All right, then. Well, when I've finished, I'll come round and bring a bottle. How's that?
Fine. As long as you don't mind finding me full of hairpins.
No, that's all right. I'll just love you like a hedgehog.
How's that?
Very carefully.
No different to any other management job. Better, for most. At least those people in the theatre are highly motivated. They have a lot riding on their work. I mean, if you were working, say a car factory, well, they wouldn't be there when the bloody wheels fell off in the middle of the M1, now would they? But actors, sots, they get egg on their faces. It's right up there on stage in a spotlight. They're very privileged managed, really. At least when our workforce go to work, hopefully, there are 1,000 foremen sitting down there in front watching their every move.
The foreman pay you?
Right.
You like actors, don't you?
Well, of course. I was one, remember?
Oh, yes. Yes, I must remember that.
Why?
Well, it gives you an advantage.
How?
Certain skills of persuasion.
So, that really is boring. No, it is. It's a very tiresome quality of the English to think that eloquence or even just fluency is a sign of insincerity.
Good job I'm Scots, then.
They're worse. A dour grunt is their sign of rapturous appreciation.
You've obviously never seen Celtic play Rangers.
Touché. I'm sorry, I suppose it's one of the trials of having been an actor. If you were a welder, I mean, every time you pick up a knife and fork, people don't expect you to weld them together, now, do they?
No, that's true. Actually, my brother has a similar complaint. He's a gynecologist, and he says that it's very difficult to have a natural relationship with women who know that because they keep looking at his house.
When are we going to make love?
I can decide very easily after I've decided whether.
You have decided. Only you haven't told yourself yet.
You're a most effective seducer.
No, I won't have that. I'm not interested in seduction. I need the wholehearted consent of whoever.
Why? Oh, why are you so
pressing?
We have a very good relationship. I enjoy coming to work. I enjoy being with you. Why risk that?
I enjoy reading plays. I go to all the trouble and the expense of actually putting them on stage in front of an audience. Because that's where they belong. That's the authentication of it.
You're not suggesting an audience for us, are you?
Of course. Each other. Isn't that the difference between reality and fantasy? Between lovemaking and masturbation.
I think I can join you now.
Aren't you going to eat anything?
No. I have a good breakfast and dinner at night. It gets harder to keep in shape, you know.
Oh, not with the amount of work you do, surely. I'm quite exhausted watching you work.
Oh, no, it's nothing. But business is picking up.
Good.
And likely to pick up much more.
Better still.
It's about that I wanted to talk to you. Jacques, that's Monsieur Dibet, tells me that there'll be a lot of people from his firm coming over for the new works.
Oh, I'm sure there will be. It's one of the benefits of the town.
Well, he said they could stay here, but I'd have to improve the standard of the rooms.
Oh, I see.
I'd like to put bathrooms in 6 of them and showers in the rest.
Have you any idea how much all this will cost?
Yes, I had an estimate from a builder, and he says about £15,000.
Oh, it's quite a sum.
I know, but I could charge more for the rooms.
Mrs. Hampton, how long would you want the money for?
3 years?
Well, that would make pretty heavy repayments.
Yes, I know, but I don't want it to go on much longer. Jacques will be finished here then, and I'd like to keep my options open.
Yes. Do you know, I must say, you're looking very much happier than when I first saw you.
I am. I mean, it's not just Jacques. Well, that's been marvellous. It still is, but it's given me a new lease of life. I told you business had been falling off.
Yes.
Well, it's begun to pick up quite miraculously. I mean, it's extraordinary. Nothing on the surface has changed. The rooms are the same and the food's the same.
But Madame la Patronne isn't. And I should say that your new smile is just as important a business asset as the new plumbing.
Oh, well, you're right, of course. I've been trying to keep the hotel the way my husband kept it. And it was very good, but obviously I must keep it my way and give it my personality.
Yes.
Well, it's always a mistake, isn't it, to try to keep things the same, hold on to the past. I mean, it never works.
No.
Have I said something wrong?
Not at all.
I have. Look, if I have, I'm sorry.
No, Mrs. Sanders, just a few months ago, I had quite an important job in the international division of the bank. And I got fed up with all the traveling and not being able to put down any firm roots. And I dropped out, I suppose you call it, and became manager of this branch in Dover.
And now you feel you've made a mistake?
No. No. No, though everyone else thinks so.
I see.
You're not convinced?
Oh, it's none of my business. I don't know you or your circumstances at all.
No, of course not.
I remember my husband telling me once about a chap who wanted a job as a waiter. He'd been head waiter in a big London restaurant, but he'd gone on the bottle, you know. Anyway, he dried out quite successfully, and he wanted to work his way back. But Colin wouldn't give him the job. He said the worst qualification for doing a job well was to have done it well once before and to have gone on to higher things.
It's a harsh judgment.
I thought so too at the time. I tried to talk him out of it, but he wouldn't budge. He said, how would I like to be chambermaid in somebody else's hotel? I stopped arguing.
Well, thank you very much, Mrs. Hampton. That was an excellent lunch.
Thank you.
And if you let me have detailed estimates and the projected cash flow, we'll see what we can do about a loan for improvements.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Bye.
We wrote back to him, heard nothing. Then in January, we received a letter with a PPS at the bottom of the page. Now listen, which said, and if you call that restoration, my name's Martin Luther, and since when we've never heard another word. Well, I suppose we'd better be getting back to the Giles. Got to be in town at 7. Could I have the...
One moment.
Thank you very much.
I thought you'd be staying over.
Well, I'd love to, but I've got meetings this evening, tomorrow and Thursday, but I will be back with you on Friday. I'll see the play then for any last-minute notes.
Friday?
Well, yes, and we've only got the 2 performances on Saturday for any changes.
Oh, dear. I was going to a Bank Centenary dinner with Mark on Friday. It's a bit difficult.
Oh. Well, it is the only performance I can make this week. I was planning on coming down, seeing the play, staying over perhaps at your hotel to chat over things and make the final arrangements for the transfer.
You plan to appear at my room bearing champagne and protesting innocence?
No. This is important, sir.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Well, do you mind if I check with Mark first?
No, of course not. We'll tell him it's very important, won't you? Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's lovely. Just...
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Telford, you are on the ball.
I beg your pardon?
I only saw you this morning.
Oh, well, we don't let the grass grow under our feet.
I can see that.
Well, as a matter of fact, I was passing, and yes, I thought I'd look in.
Good. As a matter of fact, I have the books right here.
Oh, so we're not the only ones on the ball, then.
Well, this is it. Through here is the sauna. Come on through.
Oh, it's very warm in here.
It's hotter in there. And here are the massage cubicles. And here are the electrical slimming treatments.
Well, it looks very organised.
It is. Now, while you're here, why don't you see just how good we really are? We've had a cancellation. Why don't you have a sauna or massage? Very reasonable.
Oh, thank God, I don't think so. Lying naked on a couch being massaged by an attractive woman is not the ideal situation for a loan negotiation.
Why not? If you're parting with money, why not make it as painless as possible?
Yes, precisely, Miss Morton. We weren't planning on parting with it, just lending it for a year or two.
Very well, as you wish. But I should have thought you would have wanted to experience the service you were thinking of supporting.
Well, within reason, yes, but in my time I've lent money to a sewage treatment works and to a free-fall parachute school, but I didn't find it necessary to jump in either case. Tell me, Miss Morton, how could you manage both business? I mean, you couldn't be in 2 places at once.
Oh, I've trained a very good assistant. You'll meet her in a moment. She'll stay on here while I get the Dover business off the ground, and I'll take another trainee.
What, ready for your 3rd branch?
Of course. Why not?
Yes, why not indeed? Especially if there are enough masochists to keep paying.
Come on now, it sounds far worse than it is. In fact, it's part of my technique to make that sound without hurting. Then the client is convinced it must be doing him good without his having to suffer.
Yeah, I see.
So, when will you be ready to give me an answer?
Oh, a day, or 2 at most. Just give me a chance to look through your books. Are your audited accounts, sir?
Yes.
Who's your accountant?
Prothero and Kemp.
Oh, they're good.
You surprised?
No, of course not.
Ah, Jean. This is Mr. Telford of Knight's Bank. This is Miss Kearney.
Hello, how do you do?
How do you do?
I think Mr. Telford's a bit worried about us, Jean.
No.
Oh, come on now. You're half intrigued and half frightened, aren't you?
Well, I'll admit to being intrigued.
We've got a cancellation. Why don't we try to fit him in?
Already offered. But I think he feels that stripping off and lying down would put him in a weak position.
You underestimate us, Mr. Telford. You'll feel as strong as a horse.
Oh, I'm sure.
You see, Mr. Telford? We're even kinkier than you thought.
I still don't see what is so difficult about getting that truck off in 15, 20 seconds at the most.
Well, you've seen it, Giles. It can't be done.
Right. Decision time. The truck's out. Nick.
Thank God.
Sylvia.
Oh, yes, out.
Giles.
If you insist.
I do insist. Now, do we really need the scene that's played in the shop?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, it sets up the rest of the act.
So we need to play it somewhere else. So where do we play it?
Look, that's the problem. It's absolutely impossible for the two of them to meet in any of the rooms. The whole point of the scene is that they meet casually outside their normal setting.
We can't play it in the rooms and we can't play it in the shop.
And wherever they meet, the set will have to be mounted on a truck, because there's absolutely nowhere else for it to go.
In that case, Giles, there can't be a set.
So they play it hanging from the ceiling.
No. In the street. They play it right here. They both walk downstage, right underneath the tabs, collect a couple of coats, they play it here. They meet, talk, and part. It's simple.
Nick?
It is simple, I'll say that for it.
Well, I am very simple-minded.
Look, no, Nick, but it'll work, Nick. I mean, there'll be no fuss, no hold-ups, and no noise.
Okay, I'll try it now.
Good. Well, now that's all sorted out, I really must fly. I'm so sorry about all that, but really, I'm sure it'll be much better. Right down there. Thank you very much, Giles, for coming down. You've really been a great help.
Oh, by the way, Andy Roberts wanted a word
Roberts?
with you. Yes, he's handling the publicity down here.
Will it take long?
I don't think so. He just wants to feel important, really.
Fine, a couple of minutes. And, oh, by the way, did you check about Friday?
No, not yet, but I'll get onto that straight away.
Good. And I'll see you after Roberts. Bye, Giles.
Au revoir.
Mr. Telford, the regional director's in your office.
Jevons?
Right.
Hello, Ken. What a surprise.
Hello, Mark.
Sorry I was out.
Not at all. There's no reason why you shouldn't be.
No.
Interesting business.
Well, a lending proposition to establish a second massage parlour.
Will you lend?
Yes, I think I will. So, to what do we owe this pleasure?
Oh, purely social. My boy's gone on an exchange with a French family, and I ran him down to the ferry.
Oh, I see, yes.
Thought I'd drop in, that's all.
Oh, that's excellent. Would you like a cup of tea?
No, thanks. I must get back. I want to sign all my letters.
Oh, yes.
Well, how are you getting on, then?
Oh, pretty well, I think.
You enjoying it?
Yes, I am, yes. It's a change.
Yes. You've had a sticky one or two since you took over from Stetchley, haven't you?
Yes, I suppose I have, really.
I ran into one of them, actually, the other day. Maddox, the Rotary do.
Oh,
Remember
yes.
him?
Yes, of course.
Taking it all very hard, you know. Looks 10 years older.
Well, it was a sad business.
Yes, it always is. Can't be helped, of course.
No.
That's what I said to him.
Thank you.
Yes, he kept saying he wishes he hadn't rushed into the market.
Well, yes, that was ill-advised.
Oh, absolutely. Needed to be played very cool.
Yes.
Yes. So you've settled down, then?
Yes, I think so.
You don't miss the excitement of the international division?
No, so far.
That was a marvellous coup, you know, that Manton's business. Marvellous piece of work.
Oh, thank you.
But you couldn't hang about on that one, could you? You had to dive straight in.
Right.
Of course, the domestic scene is usually slower.
Are you suggesting that I bulldoze my way through the domestic scene? Sorry, excuse me. Hello.
It's your wife, Mr. Telford.
Oh, could you ask her to ring back? I'm rather busy at the moment.
She says it's very urgent.
Oh, all right. Sorry, I won't be a moment. Hello.
Hello, Mark.
Hello, sir, but I'm rather busy at the moment.
Yes. Yes, so am I. You're not the only one who's working, you know.
No.
Mark, I've got to go to a meeting now. It'll probably take forever, and I have to have a decision about Friday.
Friday?
I'm afraid it looks as though I'm going to have to give that dinner a miss.
Oh, dear.
I'm awfully sorry, Mark, but something's cropped up and I've just got to be here on Friday.
So what decision do you have to make?
Well, whether to go or not.
Well, if you just have to, you just have to, don't you?
I was hoping that you'd understand.
Yes, I do. Look, ring me at the cottage tonight. Sorry about that.
Everything all right?
Oh, yes, fine.
Look at the time. I must rush, Mark. Look, why don't we meet for lunch or something, say, week after next?
Right.
Oh, I've seen Roberts. He seems quite happy.
Good. I've checked with Mark. I'll be here on Friday.
Oh, that's fine. Now, are you sure you wouldn't rather drive straight back to town? We could talk in the car.
No, it's all right. I'll book you a room at the hotel.
Good. I really must. Bye. I'll see you on Friday. Bye. Good luck.